Welcome to Stuff They Didn't Teach Me in Sunday School. What a way to die. Have you ever heard that phrase? If you read the Bible enough, you're going to find a lot of creative ways to die in the Bible, and you're going to say a lot of times, what a way to die. The story goes that Isaiah was put into a hollow log, and the king Manasseh had the log sawed in two. Not a way I'd want to die. In the story of Deborah and Barak, which appears in Joshua chapters 4 and 5, you gotta end this one with the phrase, what a way to die. Once again, we have the same pattern. Israel had forsaken Yahweh, worshiped the Baals. God brought an oppressor in. This time it was an interior group. It was Canaanites. It was the people with whom they were, the people among whom they were living that becomes their oppressor. One of the judges is a female by the name of Deborah. And she invites another judge, a judge by the name of Barak, to come and visit with her, and invites him to go and lead the armies against the Canaanite armies. And Barak says, I'm only going to do that if you go with me. And Deborah said to him, if I go with you, a woman's going to get the glory for this. You aren't. And he said, okay, that's all right. So Deborah goes along. They go to battle with the Canaanites. The Canaanites go on the run. And one of the Canaanite leaders, a man by the name of Sisera, flees and finds refuge in a tent. The tent of Jael, a woman, a Kenite. Okay, we got to go back a little bit. A Kenite is a descendant of Jethro, and Jethro is the father-in-law of Moses. So the Kenites were related to Zipporah, Moses' wife. Jael the Kenite invites Sisera into her tent and says, why don't you lay down here and have a little milk and relax, and I'll hide you. And she throws a cover over him, and he lays down. And Jael goes and gets a tent peg and a mallet. And as Sisera sleeps, she puts the tent peg and the mallet to his temple and takes the mallet and whacks it, I'm sure once pretty hard, because he's not going to lay there more than once, and puts that tent peg all the way through his temple and pins him to the ground. Needless to say, that kills him. The glory for the victory goes to Jael, a woman and a Kenite, not to Barak, not even to Deborah. But on that day, the Canaanites were routed. Now, a little bit of illustration of poetic license in the Bible takes place in the next chapter. Chapter 5 is a song that is Deborah and Barak's song about that event. And if you get to the end of the song, you'll see a little bit of poetic license taken with that assassination that Jael brings about onto Sisera. Verse 24, most blessed of women be Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, of tent-dwelling women most blessed. He asked water, and she gave him milk. She brought him curds in a lordly bowl. She put her hand to the tent peg, and her right hand to the workman's mallet. She struck Sisera a blow. She crushed his head. She shattered and pierced his temple. He sank, he fell, he lay still at her feet. At her feet he sank, he fell. Where he sank, there he fell, dead. Well, I'm thinking he probably wasn't standing upright when she put that tent peg through his head, because I doubt he's going to hold still while she goes, just hang in there a minute while I do this. I'm thinking he was asleep. But the poetic license taken in the song has him sinking and falling and coming down in a heap from Jael's blow with that tent peg through his temple. Kind of a gory story, and yet a story of God's deliverance of his people. And that theme just weaves its way through the book of Judges that God has not given up on these people, and he will continue to deliver them. And this time he does it with a tent peg wielding Kenite woman named Jael.